stage. We are using the library, we've beefed that up, and that's working great, and it's sort of taking some of the little load off of the Forrest Nelson main branch of the library. And of course, I'm sure we're all aware of it, some of the polling places are going to be adjusted and changed, and we're using a Centennial Park facility a lot more than that. And we're diligently trying to prioritize everything and get the most important things done first. The reality, the hurricane was 10 times worse than Charlie, and probably 10 times worse than most people realize how bad it was. And, we're fighting our way back. Okay, right. Which auditorium?
Order for any of the activities?
To whatever degree,
Yeah.
to whatever degree that they can.
Yeah, a lot of people going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Next item, Commissioner Hansick.
Good morning, everyone. I'd like to recognize City Councilman Bill Dryberg, who's here with us. Bill and I communicate with each other before their council meetings and the airport board meetings to see if there are any subjects that might be of mutual interest. And as of today, we have nothing current. And Bill, you're welcome to say anything if you'd like, but I think we got us covered this month.
Okay, moving on.
Wait a minute.
Oh, Bill got up. I didn't see it.
I mean, if we give the county commissioner a shot, we ought to give you a shot.
I won't be as long as Stephen R., I promise. I am not the councilman, I'm the vice mayor. I need to tell you that, it's pretty cool. Anyways, yeah, how cool is that? Anyways, our biggest problem right now is we went to Tallahassee 2 weeks ago. Our problem is that between FEMA and the insurance, we only pay for 90% of all those canal maintenance and stuff and the seawalls that we're replacing. So that leaves us short about $4.1 million, and we don't have $4.1 million laying around somewhere. So we're going to the state to try to get that. And I've been going up for a number of years. This is the first time I've ever gone in one day and saw 5. So House of Representatives and senators in one day, but we did. And I think we've got a good plan working for us. So hopefully that's what happens. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Bill. Mr. Chairman.
Next item, MPO, Metropolitan Planning Organization and Economic Development.
Good morning, everyone. We had a joint MPO meeting with Sarasota County on January 29th. Much of the discussion was around River Road, of course, as a joint project that affects both counties significantly, as well as the potential Raintree connection with I-75. Just a couple takeaways. They're still planning on a 2025, late 2025 completion, switching to the southbound lanes in 2024. I was happy to learn that the ponds and easements and everything is in place for the south River Road project when the time comes. So that was what takes a lot of the time to establish. That's already established, so that'll be ready to go when the time comes. And then the Raintree corridor, again, I guess they're looking on the viability of the Kings Highway connection and where that's going to actually occur. There is another joint MPO meeting tomorrow with Lee County. And then our regular MPO meeting is on March 21st. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Next item, Community.
I just have one question. Where do they hold the MPO meetings? Where do they hold the MPO meetings?
The joint MPO meeting was held in Venice, at the Venice Rec Center. The one tomorrow is at the Presbyterian Church on Bernstone Road.
Correct.
And I have yet to attend our local MPO, and I'm assuming that's at the Commission Chambers.
Yeah, Commissioner Chambers, correct.
Okay. Community. I didn't do much this month because I had 2 out-of-town weddings. I had one in Georgia and one up in New York. So I've been traveling around visiting all my nieces and nephews' weddings. Sorry about that.
Okay.
But I had a good time.
Okay. Next item, state legislation.
Yes, thank you.
Mrs. Oliver.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Well, we went up to Tallahassee, myself, Mr. Parrish, Mr. LaRoche, and Kim Amontry from the Charlotte County School Board. We went up last month. We had a bunch of meetings. They were really great, really positive. Everybody's really supportive of our asks. We are in the budget, not for the amount that we want and hope, but there's still so much that happens between now and the end of session. So I'm cautiously optimistic about our appropriations requests. And I think, again, that they really like to see us in the school board and the entire community sort of asking for the same thing. I think that's kind of unusual for them to hear and to see up in Tallahassee. Usually it's every man for himself within communities. So we're different in that respect, and I think we're in a really good position. I will let Mr. Parrish address anything that's going on with Florida Airports Council requests. And oh, sorry.
I'm going to let Chad do this.
Yeah, thank you. So, Florida Airports Council is tracking several bills. House Bill 981 is the aviation bill by Representative Bankson, and so that bill is being heard today, actually right now, in the Infrastructure Strategies Committee. We anticipate it to move forward. And one of the main reasons we're watching that is we've been working with DOT and some other airport stakeholders to put back some land use protections that were unintentionally removed last year. So we're hoping that bill makes it through the finish line. And then House Bill 328 is the affordable housing bill. That passed the House. It's now being sent over to the Senate, where we expect them to pick that up and pass it and send it to the governor. So part of that bill applies to airports and includes some land use protections for airports that was initially preempted in the Live Local bill last year. So those are the two main pieces of legislation that we're tracking. They seem to be moving. There's a number of other items that we were tracking, and they seem to be falling off to the wayside as we're wrapping up week 6 of session. And then, like Commissioner Oliver mentioned, the appropriations request, we are actively monitoring those and staying engaged to try to make sure that funding is allocated to us.
Do you have anything?
I have nothing to add.
Okay, next item, we move on to attorney's report.
Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here. I know I missed the last couple of meetings, but Mr. Hackett has set in. Unfortunately, they've conflicted with some family and other travel, so I'm glad to be back, and nice to see you. Nice to see Commissioner Thornburg joining us here on the board. I'm pleased to advise you that you have no litigation pending, no threats of litigation. I continue to interact with staff at numerous and various levels, depending on the needs. However, there's nothing that is, what I'd say, critical that is moving at this point.
That's good to hear.
I had the pleasure to meet with staff yesterday on a number of issues and see James like every day. That's because he lives 2 doors down from me.
Oh, whatever, yeah.
But other than that, all's good.
Okay. Next up is CEO's report. Mr. Parrish.
Yes, good morning, Board. Quick development update. You guys get the detailed report in your package, so I'll go through this quickly, and if you have any questions, we are still in development of our PFC change application and amendment, and our ARF truck is moving forward. I don't think we've gotten approval yet, but I think we're real close to getting that onto a grant application. The master drainage plan has actually started this week. We had our first meeting on site, and they are getting badged, and they're going to start their field work. The FBO hangar is still on hold. Golf course, we're still looking for some funding on that, and we'll be moving forward with that as soon as we can. That's also part of the maintenance and operations center, so we'll try and coordinate those projects because we'll be converting part of golf course into our perimeter road project. So that's part of that design. The rental car facility replacement is under design. We talked about that last month. We hope to get that under construction late this year so that we can tear down the existing building, which is occupiable but no longer structurally sound to withstand another Cat 5 hurricane. Taxiway C reconstruction is moving towards, well, we're still waiting on the FAA for a couple of answers, but it's going to move.
Actually received that this morning.
Oh, we got it this morning.
We're gonna- before the meeting.
And it's going to go straight now?
We're going to bid it both ways.
Both ways,
With
okay.
alternate, and then let the FAA decide which way
Okay,
they
so
want to
we're,
move forward.
the FAA, thank you. Taxiway Alpha reconstruction, we're going to start, that'll be in design or is in design. We were going to do, Charlie and Alpha were supposed to happen at the same time because of construction cost. We've separated that into two projects. Fuel farm security project is in design. We met with them this week and finalized a few things. The GSE maintenance building is in design, and the Building 101 replacement, we met with AirTrack. They'll be the tenant in that, and we did finalize the design criteria with them, so that's moving forward. Next page. That's everything. Okay, well, so in construction, inline baggage is, that is the next one, sorry. So you got it already. Commercial terminal is, we have, I don't want to tell you we have a grant to fund it because I haven't gotten it yet, but we're moving forward with the design on that. And we are under construction on inline baggage. I recommend you guys drive in front of the terminal, the snack shack, the restaurant.
Ms. Parrish, back on the commercial terminal expansion. On the funding, we're talking like 40-some million. What are the elements in that funding itself?
PFC, DOT, and Bill. So the airport terminal program under the bipartisan infrastructure.
Okay, so that's where you're looking for the grant money?
Yes.
Any estimate on what's going to come out of our pocket at this point? I mean, I know you don't know what it's going to cost, but...
Well, we do have DOT 50/50 money. PFC will cover the remainder. Right now, based on some preliminary things, about $5 million.
So you're comfortable that we can
And
afford the program?
we can always increase the PFC amount to cover that, so.
Okay, thank you.
Inline baggage system is underway. Like I said, drive by, look, the snack shack is gone, the old restaurant is gone, and we're starting to dig up all the utilities, a lot of old stuff on that site, so it's been slow. We have a lot of utilities that are still active that need to be removed, a lot of phone lines and stuff that we don't know where they go anymore. So most of them are probably dead, but you got to make sure before you rip them out. So, M&O building right across the street from us. You can see a lot of earthwork going on. They're bringing in a lot of dirt, testing a lot of the dirt that we had brought in from other projects, and we'll be mixing all that and getting it in place. Then they hopefully will start the pad in the next month, so you'll see at least some work going on that looks like a building happening, not just moving dirt. Taxiway Gulf, we finished the paving last week. We're going to put some temporary striping down, and then we will schedule a ribbon cutting maybe sometime late next month on that one. It will be open, though, in the next few weeks as we get the temporary paint down. Airfield lighting control is still working on finalizing a self-serve fuel facility at 200. Where are we on that one?
We've been told the update on that. The tank should be here in 3 to 4 weeks. We're supposed to be early January. They're just backed up in their shop.
Yeah. And then replacement hangar for 207 is in permitting, so we're moving forward with that. All right. Any questions? Nothing? Okay. Ms. Miller, marketing?
Hey, good morning. The marketing report has information about what we shared in January. We have our Curtis the Hawk plush collectible, now on sale at the Air Center for $25 or at the Junction for $29. So it costs a little bit more at the terminal, of course. Also, as you guys can see, the TSA PreCheck story we talked about last month, they are here through Friday at noon, the TSC PreCheck mobile enrollment. So if there's anybody out there that still needs to get TSC PreCheck, they have a day and a half. And Gulf Shore Business, Wink TV covered a story yesterday or Monday, just basically about the terminal expansions like James has talked about, the inline baggage system. That is the first kind of phase of construction. The rental car center, that should be open by the end of 2025. But, you know, most people get excited about the Dunkin' Donuts kiosk, who's supposed to be open in the next few months, hopefully, in the baggage claim area. So you may see a little bit more news about that as other stations kind of cover the same type of stories. So that's coming up. Also, we started a new Facebook group, the PGD Plain Spot. Casey Thames and Ray LaRoche have gotten all their friends involved who are posting lots of photos of aircraft around the airport from old days and current times, which is pretty cool, just to raise awareness about aviation spotters and people that love aviation. So that's kind of cool. So check that out if you're on Facebook. Tuesday, we did our United Way Aviation Gives Back wrap-up, and we raised $6,300, which is great. So that was a good time, but we'll continue throughout the year to do more things, so just keep your eyes and ears open. But Commissioner Thornberry came in handsick, so thank you for coming to that and donating as well. Yes. I know. Ray, this was the first year we did payroll deduction, which was nice because it gives an opportunity for employees that want to donate to take it out of their paycheck pre-tax, which is kind of cool. But that means you get a lot of tickets. So Ray and Mr. Chad over here got a lot of prizes. But it was good. But throughout the year, we'll continue to have opportunities for people to get involved. We also launched our public flight tracking portal. It's a cool, basically, GIS map that shows, it's like the flight aware for PGD. So you can go to our website, flypgd.com, and on the far right, under community and news, it's under the noise mitigation program. So that's pretty cool. So you can basically see where the flights are around the airport, the commercial ones, as well as the private ones. And it gives people an opportunity if they want to know, hey, was there a plane that flew over my house? They can replay it. And if they have a question or if the public has an issue or a concern, they can basically fill out the form right there. And it's basically our new portal for noise concerns. So it's kind of cool. So I encourage you all to check that out. We also got a new shuttle bus with Curtis the Hawk featured, thanking our veterans for their service. So that's kind of fun. So if you see it driving around from parking lots to the terminal, it's got Curtis featured on it. And we're continuing to do marketing and advertising in our local area, as well as some national advertising, partnering with the Tourism Bureau to get the word out in several of our markets. And we're also doing research in advance of James and I attending the Jumpstart. It's an air service conference where we meet with airlines, and we're doing some research on what other airports are doing for air carrier incentive plans and what other community-sponsored initiatives other communities have, so we have a better idea of what other airports are doing, and we can come back to you when we have more information on that, if we have any recommendations for that.
Kaylee and I will be flying on our new flight to Washington, D.C.
Yes, exactly.
I found out it's an hour-and-a-half ride to the hotel on the metro instead of 20 minutes to the other airport, but it's Allegiant, and it's cheap.
Yeah. Exactly. The whole flight's like $150 round trip.
Dulles, yeah. And there is a metro right from Dulles, so it'll be interesting. It'll be fun.
Yeah,
Yes.
next month.
All right, that's it.
All right, thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Duncan?
Thank you. Yes, for the aviation report. So the month of January, we were extremely busy. I think it might have been our busiest January we've ever had.
certainly as compared to the last 5 years. We had 11,635 flights, operations, I should say. That was a couple thousand more than 2023. If you were over at the Air Center towards the end of the month, you might have noticed that we've got a squadron of Navy T-6s that are now using the airport. They've been here for about 2 weeks. They'll be here through Saturday the 17th, and those are a turboprop type kind of aircraft. And after that, starting on February 26th, we believe, through March 8th, we're going to get some Navy trainers, T-45s, and that's a jet-type aircraft flying into the Air Center using the airport. So we're really excited about that. And that's really because Darren, who runs our FBO, was successful working with our fuel provider to get what's called a DLA contract. So we could sell fuel to any DoD operator, and so once we got that, people recognize that it's a safe airport to fly into, and certainly with the Air Center and everything that offers, we're going to be seeing more of those type of operations. So yeah, that's always good to see. For passengers, it was our second busiest January in the history of the airport, 167,000 passengers. So we were excited about that. And fuel sales have just been rocking. January for avgas out of the truck, we sold over 10,000 gallons. You could see by the chart up as compared to previous months, previous years. Self-serve continues to do extremely well. I think when we get that other self-serve island in, you'll see that number even grow even further. And it's nice to see all our airport operators that burn avgas taking advantage of that self-serve island. And then Jet had a pretty good month, almost 70,000 gallons, better than December of 23. And then Airlines about 1.3 million gallons. So everything's looking really good from the airport side of the house as far as operations and fuel sales. Thank you. Yes, question.
Gary, I noticed Beth is here. I'm just kind of curious what type of activity we're seeing with the Sunseeker vans taking their folks from the airport to Sunseeker. Is that...
We're seeing it. They are active. I don't know if we have total counts yet, but yeah, we could get that. But yeah, it's working. It's working. And what we're also seeing is people flying into the Air Center that are asking how to get to Sunseeker. So we've never seen that before. So it's nice to see private people flying in.
Yeah, I think it'd be an interesting statistic, maybe a Legion ought to keep it on how many folks are actually carrying in commercial going to Sunseeker.
Right. I understand we had about 80 trips last month with their vans.
Thank you.
So we're tracking that in all of our ground transportation now with the license plate readers. So you have to register as soon as you drive in. We then charge you.
Yeah, and the Sunseeker vans are what, 10, 12 people, something like that?
Yeah, it's all based on the size of the vehicle. Just a single vehicle, normal is $3 pickup. A van is $5, and the larger shuttle is 20.
So Sunseeker has SUVs,
They have
small
different
vans,
okay.
and then large.
Depending on what they're picking up, whether it be 2 people or 10 people off
Right.
the flight.
Right.
Gotcha.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions?
Okay, seeing no other questions, let's move on to new business.
Thank you. There was no old business, so we can just hop right into new business. The first item is and I'll never be able to call it a PTGA, it's a JPA, but PTGA, a public transportation grant agreement with the Florida Department of Transportation. To date on taxiway Alpha and Charlie, keep in mind this was one project, so when we first started, so the DOT is still funding it as one project. We had $45,000 in for the project from the DOT for design. They're offering another $700,000 for the taxiway Alpha Charlie reconstruction and the Charlie Delta intersection project. So we need to approve approve the grant, or someone signing the grant, and the execution of the resolution 2024-03.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move that the board consider approval of resolution 2024-03 on the public transportation grant agreement amendment for aviation projects.
I have a first and a second. Any further, anything else? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion passes.
Okay,
Motion
I
carries.
guess we need a motion to approve the grant itself, and I can't remember. Do we need both approvals?
Yes, if we could approve
And who
the
do you
execution of
have
the
a
grant.
signature for the grant amendment?
That would be me.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve execution of the aforementioned grant approved by the board resolution authorizing our CEO, Mr. Parrish, to execute the grant.
Need a second?
Yeah.
We got-
Kathleen got
I
it.
didn't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No. Okay, we have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
The next item on the agenda is a lease with Tampa General. They are amending their current lease, which is for a single building. They're going to take the other building in a complex that has 2 hangars. They are funding some modifications to the building so they can have sleeping quarters and a shower facility for their pilots who are stationed there. And this is a great thing to have 2 tenants or 1 tenant in that complex. It's always been a hassle because there's only 1 taxiway. It wasn't in the middle, it's now in the middle, which is great. So we fixed a problem we've had for many years recently, but it'll be really convenient to have a single user in that building because one is a helicopter user and those all tend not to mix. So we've negotiated this lease with them, they've signed it, and we just need board approval, and I would have had this in consent, but we didn't get it until late.
Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that the board authorize the CEO to execute amendment number 1 to commercial building lease agreement with Florida Health Science Center, Inc.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the final item on the agenda is a resolution 2024-04. We've had a lot of commentary lately about privatization in the newspaper, and I felt, and I got some encouragement from a few board members, to just kind of nail this down for now that we're not moving in that direction. It affects federal funding. It affects more it affects state funding. Private airports in Florida are not eligible for state funding. And so when it came back up in the newspaper, when Mr. Thornberry was appointed to the board, just felt it was prudent at this point to say, listen, this isn't what we're doing, because I got a call from a couple of legislators asking about it. I got a call from one upset that it was in the paper. So we put this together to kind of put a nail in the coffin on that one for right now. I mean, this is no way binding. If in 5 years the board wants to move that direction, it can be done. But for now, I think it would be good for us to put it out in the paper, to put it out in the press that we're not moving that direction.
Let's know what our feelings are. Good idea.
Mr. Chair, I move that the board reaffirms and accepts the 2024-4 non-pursuit of privatization resolution.
I'll second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none? Oh, you have? Oh, yeah.
I just want to add that, as someone that was supportive of hearing what the bidders had to say 4 years ago, I have absolutely no intention of moving forward with a privatization. I was actually really upset to see that in the newspaper because I think that this airport is doing so many great things and taking so many positive steps that the idea of privatization is just a distraction. We're not moving in that direction. We have no intention of doing that. And so I think this is a really great idea to unanimously move forward with this resolution. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My sentiments exactly, so.
And I'd just like to add, I appreciate this resolution, and that's been a very big topic that has come up prior to the appointment, and of course afterward and going forward, and this helps put everyone's mind at ease.
Well, you know, it's making a public statement that we're all in agreement on, and I like that. As everybody knows, I was opposed to it when it was really being discussed, so. Any further discussion?
I would just note that this resolution was purposely drafted so that it required the signatures of everybody, so that each person has their proverbial John Hancock on there to designate that not only was it unanimous, but each signed it independently after considering it. We felt that that was a better projection of the unanimity of this as opposed to just one signature.
Excellent idea.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay, we have a first and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Okay, so each board member will sign the original of that, so we have it on file.
Just see Kelly before you leave, and she has the original.
Okay, we're down to public comments. Any public comments? Anyone wishing to address the board during this portion should state their name for the record. Each citizen is allowed up to 2 minutes to express their opinion. Do I see nobody wanting to address the board? Next item is commissioners' comments. We'll start with Commissioner Thornberry.
I had an opportunity to tour the airport, thank you, Mr. Parrish, and it was great to put eyes on what we see on a map and, you know, going over these projects. It was everything I thought it would be and more. Of course, there's, you know, the aviation geek in me was trying to take my eyes off the landings and takeoffs as much as possible and focus, but no, it was awesome. And it, meeting more staff and the smiles on their faces, and just glad that it's a great place to work. So, thank you.
Commissioner Oliver.
Great meeting. Thank you all. Welcome back, Attorney Carr. We're glad to have you back. I want to see pictures.
You want to see pictures? I've been a lot of places in the last, I've been on the road a lot more days in the last 90 days than I've been in the States, so it's been wearisome, but exciting nonetheless.
Great.
Commissioner Coppola.
It's been a great morning. We did a lot of good things here today, and thank you all for being here.
Commissioner Hansick.
I'll echo that. It was a great meeting, and I appreciate the unanimous resolution. It takes a lot of questions off the table.
Yes.
As you know, we fought that, and hopefully it puts that question to rest and helps you two out with your election campaign. You don't have to answer the questions from all the folks at Kiwanis clubs and that kind of
Right.
stuff.
Also, welcome.
Yeah.
Would you like?
So we have our new bus outside. If anyone wants to look at it, it's wrapped in our veterans theme with Curtis. Reminder, we do not have a March meeting unless an emergency comes up, which hopefully wouldn't be an emergency if the DOT gave us some more money or the FAA gave us some more money, but we have to call it an emergency meeting, and I will let you know if we need to get one of those signed quickly.
So where are we going with the bus?
Wait a minute, they might charge us to ride.
No, $5 to ride the bus. No, just to see it. If you guys want to see the new design, this is. If you want to ride, I'm sure Beth will drive you around.
Okay, I can't improve on what anyone else said. It's been a good meeting. I'm very happy that we have all 5 board members making a statement as far as privatization. So this is a good. That's all I have. Meeting is adjourned.